Must have been really different to do something so mature and unrestricted as Cyberpunk as a character.
It was really fun. One of the lines where she's like, "You don't deserve that cool cowboy stash because you're being such a little bitch."
Kawaii-Fi!
Konnichiwa, it's Kyle here, and it's been a hot minute. You might have noticed we've moved, but we'll come to that in another video later, because today we need to talk about the incredible success that is Cyberpunk Edgerunners, and apparently Trigger's new best girl. Edgerunners is a fantastic, gritty, violent romp in the world of Cyberpunk 2077, following David Martinez on his journey to become a true cyberpunk. It's not a retelling of the video game story, and it's all the better for it, helping to showcase the fascinating world the game is set in, and also reinvigorating Cyberpunk 2077 after its shaky launch. Since Edgerunners came out, the game has seen its highest player count since release, and a sequel has even been announced by the team at CD Projekt Red. So in light of all this good news, I thought I'd reach out to the voice of one of the show's most popular characters, the short and chaotic Rebecca, who's voiced by Alex Cazares, and see how she's felt about the success of the show. Alex, look, thank you so much for joining me to have a chat about Cyberpunk.
Oh, no problem. I'm so excited to be here.
What's it like to be Studio Trigger's new best girl?
Aw, man, I lucked out. I'm really thankful I got to play Rebecca. She was tons of fun. Even before I knew, like, where it was kind of going, because you never know when things hit if people are gonna like it or not. I was, like, psyched getting to play her, because she's such a badass.
It's kind of been met with universal love since its release, so what's it like being part of such a successful series and a dub?
Oh man, it's a trip. The more I learn about Cyberpunk, the more excited I get. I've gotten the books. I've been reading into it. Like I said, I've been playing the game. I'm almost through. You know where it's like go meet Hanako at some bar or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right there. So right now I'm going and doing all the side quests before I go see her.
Before it all kind of blows up.
Yeah.
Now, well, obviously, the next question was going to be, have you played the game? And you have a very good reason for having played the game recently, because you ended up with a spicy cough.
Oh, yeah. It was great. COVID knocked me on my butt for like 2 weeks. It was harsh. I will be wearing my mask. I got kind of lax with it, and it got me. And so I had a lot of time to just sit there and be like, but at least I had a video game. So I played through most of Cyberpunk. I don't know if it's most of it, but quite a big chunk. Enough to kind of get what's going on, and I'm digging it. I'm going to finish too.
I want to talk a little bit about, obviously, not the pandemic, but the challenges that, obviously, as a voice actor, both yourself and the rest of the industry have faced over the past couple of years. Because, obviously, getting a respiratory disease, it's our livelihoods if we're doing voiceover or any of that sort of stuff. So what sort of challenges have you had? And, obviously, imagine it's been quite an experience the past few years.
Oh, yeah. Well, one thing, we don't all record together anymore. It's mostly remote, and you don't really, or at least in my experience, there's not very many group sessions, because we do that sometimes through Zoom and stuff, and we're all little floating heads. But,
Nice.
Yeah, there's a magic getting to be in the studio with each other, and getting to do all the sound effects and going down the line and all doing your silly stuff and trying to make each other laugh, and there's an energy in the room, and it's still fun on Zoom, but it's through the computer.
Yeah. It's not as interactive and engaging, is it?
Yeah. It's okay, but usually when the director goes to talk to the showrunner or whomever about which takes they like, or if they're gonna have you do it again, a long time ago everyone would get that was a chance to talk because there's a piece of glass, and it's like when the teacher turns around. And now you have to just, because they're usually on another phone call with each other, like besides the Zoom, you have to be quiet and you have to be good students.
You don't only do Japanese anime dubbing, you have done a good chunk of it, but you also do voiceovers for US productions as well. So like TV series of Boss Baby and The Mighty Ones and The Casagrandes. So how different an experience is it dubbing those shows compared to anime?
You know, with anime, you're listening kind of to the performance of whomever you're dubbing over, and even though the English dub is a completely different piece of art, I feel like, than the Japanese dub, just because we're different actors. But we are listening to get, is this intense? Is it sad? And we're getting hints of how it's supposed to go. But it's kind of cool with with at least the American cartoons that we're doing for the first time, because you get to make it up and you get to like make it maybe a little bit longer or shorter than they intended. But with dubs, you got to match the flaps.
I know you've done some voice acting for video games as well, and there's Fallout, there's WarioWare, but there's something I just have to ask about. The Henry Stickman collection. I've played this game, and no offense intended, I had no idea Carol Cross talked.
Well, they do now.
Is it usual to get called in for a short recording session for a project? Do they try and kind of block you up for multiple short sessions in a day for different things, or?
Yeah, you do multiple sessions a day if they all kind of fall on the same day. Usually there's, I don't know, my day kind of splits up into the morning and then maybe an afternoon session. And then if you're talking to someone like you who's not over here, it might go a little bit longer into the day. I don't care. I'm a night owl. But,
I did kind of pick that up while we were chatting. Well, just obviously, like, there's a lot of sort of short projects out there that are available for voice actors to get involved in.
Yeah.
For those sort of projects, how weird is it to maybe come in and do like an hour of recording, or maybe even half an hour just for like a minor additional voice?
And then you never see it again. Yeah. I don't know. It is kind of weird. And then you hear someone talk about it like 2 or 3 years later. You're like, oh, I did. Working for my cat's tuna,
Yeah. Now, we'll head back to the world of anime, because obviously this is not the only anime you've dubbed, and you've also watched a few animes over the years as well. So what ones have you really enjoyed?
Well, we're just going to start with Inuyasha!
Now that's out of my system.
I loved Inuyasha because it was on Adult Swim. It was like a program here in the United States where after Cartoon Network was done being for little kids, then it went to Adult Swim. And then they'd play riskier ones like Trigun, or is it Trigun? Trigun. I always forget. I love that one with Vash the Stampede.
I was going to say, are you aware that's coming back?
No, they're doing more Vash? That's cool!
Yeah. It comes out next year. It's a complete CG 3D one, but it's by a studio which does really good CG called Studio Orange. And it looks really good.
Oh, I'm really excited. Are they going to use some of the same voices and stuff, or were they doing like a new cast?
Well, they haven't announced it yet, but it is meant to be getting an English dub, so maybe they might be getting some of the old voice actors back for it. Who knows?
Ooh, I'm excited. I can't wait to find out. That's some good news.
And did you say Shin-chan, was it?
Oh yeah, I love Shin-chan. S-dance. I don't know. I think that the English dub was really funny. They went hog wild.
Yeah, they really did.
Wasn't Laura Bailey like the voice of Shin, at least for a while? I thought she was.
I think so. I'm going to wager a bet that you're right.
She might have been. That's probably why it was so amazing.
Yeah, I'd love to, but I already got plans to sit around and do nothing.
Speaking of Laura Bailey, I loved Fruits Basket. That was another one that was like my thing. I read all the comic books and stuff. Oh, I loved it.
You've been in quite a few films and series over the years, through Studiopolis in particular, I believe.
Yeah, they're pretty cool over there.
And I want to talk about a couple. So firstly, Rent a Girlfriend. I believe your grandma Nagomi?
Oh, yeah. Oh, love my grandson. He needs a woman. It gets kind of weird, but I think it comes from a good place.
Yeah, that's got to be a very entertaining experience considering the series.
Yeah. Season 1 was wild.
And Naruto as well. So in Shippuden, you were, I think it would have been for 1 or 2 episodes, one of the kind of progenitor characters, Asura, who's the younger son of the Sage of the Six Paths, one of those sort of like mythical figures.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah. Was that your first voice acting for a long-running shonen series like Naruto?
I think that was my first dipping into that, and then I ended up doing one for Baruto after. I'm Suika. I give them the missions. Don't fuck it up. but a bit nicer.
Now, we were talking about this a little bit earlier when we were just getting set up, but Ghibli films.
Yeah.
I imagine you've seen quite a few of those over the years.
Definitely.
What was it like getting the chance to voice a character that's older than you for only yesterday?
I was tripping. I was tripping. I always get nervous, but, something that, is so well known. Because some of the jobs you get, you're not really aware of the whole, where it's from and the studio and all this surrounds it and the films, but I was, so it made me nervous.
Yeah.
But I was really happy to get to do it. With Only Yesterday, I think I recorded all the background stuff. I think it was with Jeremy Lay. So that was really cool. That was the first time I met her.
That's something I also kind of want to talk about, because you've been listed as many voice actors are as additional voices, and I've always wondered, what does being an additional voice entail?
Well, we're kind of filling out the world, and it can be kind of fun. For instance, there'll be a little boy in the background, and maybe he's supposed to say something, and we're not really supposed to hear it completely, but it has to be there so it feels real. And or a group of kids playing in it at the park, we might be like, hey, pass the ball over here. Or we might do a chorus of different laughter, and then they plug it in and mix it all together. So you might be like a and then the other's like so you got some different stuff going on, and then they mix it together.
Do they give you a lot of instruction, or?
I think it kind of depends on if it's a character that has lines or not. If he has lines, then you got to follow along. But if you're just doing background walla, you can kind of wing it a little. Sometimes they've asked us to do no words, where you're just kind of talking gibberish, Wasanumana, Moshumana, Tupachamana, Wasanumana, Wajanwa. Just stupid stuff like that.
Wow, are you auditioning for The Sims at the moment?
No. And then other times they'll be like, okay, you are a young girl and you're excited to go to a concert, and that's what you're talking about. And then you just kind of, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. and then they mix it all together.
I am intrigued by this, because I've had a look through, as all of us creepy journalists do, I've had a look through your IMDb, and a lot of your work is what we'd consider, family friendly. So it must have been really different to do something so mature and unrestricted as Cyberpunk as a character.
It was really fun. Especially with one of the lines where she's like, you don't deserve that, cool cowboy stash because you're being such a little bitch or something like that. And I remember the session was going kind of long, and myself and the engineers and the person directing and everything, we were all kind of going around and laughing and kind of deciding which one we liked the best. I don't know. It's fun. You get to be like a little kid, and saying bad words can be funny. Especially when you're you have to be really careful with mainstream kid cartoons. Like, you're not allowed to say God, or like you have to be careful with the word death and killed and things like that.
Wow,
So,
yeah.
doing something like Cyberpunk, it's like, whew, gloves off.
Rebecca's character's had a lot of love online, and that's got to be pretty encouraging, at least from a voice actor perspective.
Oh, yeah, it's super cool. Especially because a lot of the roles you do, your biggest fans are little kids, and they're not going to be, like, finding you on Twitter or drawing fan art for a character. So it's kind of cool to get to actually see something that people enjoy and get to hear some feedback. It's awesome.
It's probably worth mentioning for those that haven't seen the Edgerunners English dub that it's, let's be honest, it's easily one of the best anime dubs Netflix have been involved in, and thank you. So I believe Salami Studios, who previously have worked with Viz Media, in charge. What would they like to work with?
Oh, they're awesome. I work with them on a couple of other to-be-announced projects, but I think I've also done a few sessions we did Lego City Heights there. We also, I think, did an episode of Boss Baby there. Like if one studio gets full, they might book another studio or something. So they're pretty cool dudes. And like one of the guys that works there I knew from a different studio who, switched jobs and is engineering for Salami now. So it's really cool to get to see people that you recognize in the industry, and Salami they're freaking awesome.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things online when you have a look at like the dubs they've been involved in and so on, and especially when you start looking at the list of people who studios start to sort of connect with and talk with, like yourself. There's also Spike Spencer. There's a lot of the old tenured voice actors from like the early days of anime dubbing connected with them. Is it fun to kind of get to meet some of these people occasionally and get a bit of a little bit of guidance from them?
Back in the before times, I used to trip. Like, I used to be really, really, really nervous. So a lot of times I try not to look up the people who are in the room with me, so I wouldn't know, because it'd just be easier to stomach for me. And then I'd find out later, that was the crypt keeper or something like that, and then I trip balls.
You did say there are a couple of yet-to-be-announced projects in the work, but are there any projects you can tell us about? Maybe, I'm guessing other than probably Rent-A-Girlfriend Season 3.
Do they get married? Oh, wait, that's not her voice. Do they get married? We can only hope. Let me think. Right now I'm working on... Gosh, you'd think I'd know right off the bat.
No.
Baby Shark's Big Show. That one's been a lot of fun. I love that one because we do a lot of singing and it's a lot of cool people on it. I don't see them all the time, but now and then we'll get to do cast records, and that's awesome.
I was going to say, is that the one which went completely viral because of its opening theme?
Baby Shark, do 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 do.
Yeah.
Yep. And then Nickelodeon. There's still a YouTube version of it, but Nickelodeon picked it up as its own series. Instead of just Baby Shark, it's Baby Shark's Big Show. Yeah. There's a show involved. It's big. I was working on that. I got to do a couple voices on Middlemost Post, and that was kind of neat. Drifting Home, that was a really beautiful anime. I was really happy to be a part of it. Oh, did you get a chance to see it?
Stunning.
it was kind of a tearjerker. Yeah, I watched that one with my mom.
We're getting to that point with a lot of these anime films where they're just so emotionally driven now as well.
I like it because, you know, I don't think it's a genre, it's a medium.
So, Alex, it's been fantastic talking with you and picking your brains, and I hope we'll get another chance to chat down the line as well. And hopefully they decide to resurrect Cyber Rebecca for Cyberpunk Edgerunners 2 Edge Boogaloo or something.
Oh my god, I have all these ideas. CDPR just gotta hit me up. No.
That'd be pretty good.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But we look forward to seeing your next major project, and thanks again for giving us the time to have a chat.
Oh, no problem. I hope I answered all your questions and kind of stayed on point. Bye, guys. Bye-bye.
A big thank you to Alex for taking the time to talk with us. It was a greatly enjoyable chat, and hopefully we'll get to do so again in the future on one of her next projects. If you'd like to see what Alex has been up to along with an abundance of Rebecca memes, you can follow her over on Twitter. I've left a link down in the video description. As always, a big thank you to our Patreons for supporting the channel. If you want access to behind the scene content, outtakes, and other fun extras, you can find a link below. And with that, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, watch some anime.